You are the people you hang out with.
I was pushing people away. We're delusional. We don't make each other feel uncomfortable about sharing
That some friendship can become toxic.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
Some relationships you should walk away from.
Run. Hi everyone, welcome to our channel, Better Together. This is Sabrina. She's my best friend. She's from Jamaica.
And this is my best friend Anna. She's from Colombia. How are you, babe?
I'm happy to be here because we're better together. So, Sabrina and I, we met at work. We're living overseas. We're not living in our countries, and that has been a little bit challenging. To be honest, we're blessed to have found each other here.
Where are we living, babe? Which city are we living in? Which country are we living in?
We're living in Hangzhou. It's in China, so we are quite far from home.
We actually met at work. Anna, I was working at this company, and Anna joined us. She was living in an apartment that she didn't quite like. And I said to her, hey, my real estate agent hooked me up with a pretty good apartment. Would you like to come and see it?
Yeah. 2 days later, I moved that same day, and Sabrina was here, and we met.
Yeah.
And Sabrina's like, hey, do you need help moving in?
Yeah.
And ever since, like, we've been inseparable.
I think we connected instantly. We didn't need to overcome some challenges or some bumps in the way toward becoming friends. It happened quite naturally.
Very smoothly.
Yeah, and I've always shared with Anna how I believe we became friends. I was praying for a friendship like the one Anna and I have. You know, before I met Anna, I prayed like, hey God, I want to meet a friend that is beautiful, that is confident, that will love God, that will invest in me as much as I will invest in her, where we'll have shared values and will positively influence each other. You know, that's the kind of prayer I was praying. And then I met Anna, and I often tell her she's an answered prayer.
And I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
I was also praying at that time of my life. I was praying for good colleagues, for a place where I felt safe, and I often ask God, like, please give me, I don't know, like, I wasn't praying about something specific, but I just wanted something that made me feel happy, and we just happened to find each other. Like Sabrina says that I am an answer prayer, and I was praying for something that I didn't know I needed, and Sabrina came along, and we have added so much value and happiness and so many beautiful things in this friendship.
Yeah. So that is what we're talking about today in this video, how to approach friendship. Because in our friendship, while we connected naturally and instantly, we didn't take it lightly. For me, I don't approach friendship, oh, we connect, oh, we work at the same place, I see you a few times, oh, we're friends. I don't believe in that. The Bible says a friend sticketh closer than a brother, which means a friend is a serious, deep relationship. At least that's how I think. In society now, friendship is kind of like
taken lightly.
And people walk away from friendship like, this friendship is no longer serving me, I'm leaving. Oh, we had a fight and that's it. And while we do believe that some friendship can become toxic,
oh yeah, definitely,
some relationships you should walk away from,
run.
I do believe in the value of good friendship. I do believe that we should value friendship. So what I want to throw to you, Anna, is what are some of the values that we've connected on in this friendship?
I like about our friendship that when we talk about dreams, no matter how crazy or how far away they seem, like we're delusional. We don't make each other feel uncomfortable about sharing these crazy dreams that maybe if you share with someone else, or it happened to you that you share with someone else a dream of yours, and maybe that person made you feel ashamed or shy about it.
I have shared this with you before, that I've had friendship where I felt uncomfortable sharing a dream because it just wasn't a safe space to share that dream. And then when I shared it, it was like, that is impossible, it's not going to happen. Like, You know, that kind of an attitude when sharing your dreams with friendship doesn't encourage someone to try hard or to work toward your dream. And I have seen in our friendship where I say something to you like, hey Anna, I'm thinking about doing this, you get on the internet and try,
it's possible.
Yeah. And start googling how to do it, how to accomplish it. You never let me feel as if my dreams were unattainable, and that is something I truly value. And so in approaching friendships, we have to think about how the friendship will impact your life, because you are the people you hang out with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about, why do you think sharing these kind of dreams with other friends wasn't comfortable?
Well, for me, I do believe some people, their visions are myopic. They can only see what is right in front of them. They can't dream beyond what they see right now. And so when you come with all these big dreams, you are challenging their version of reality.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't have faith enough in God. Maybe some of you are watching, you don't believe in God, but I do believe in God, and that He's able to do beyond what we could ever imagine, ask or think. And so some people, they're not able to believe in their dreams. And some people, you know what, Anna, they grew up in families or circumstances where they were not encouraged to dream big. And I'm not saying I grew up in those environments either. We didn't grow up in those environments. We're from developing countries where we see failure a lot. We don't see a lot of success around us. But that is where removing yourself from the victim mentality comes in, and doing the work it takes to develop yourself.
And it's not an easy work, right? Because we've done, and I think as well, like talking about this, we clicked so fast because we were putting work before coming together. Like we were going to therapy, we were praying, we were overcoming challenges along the way, like in our separate ways. So when we met, we were in a different state in our life. So it kind of clicked, like everything, the stars aligned, and God brought us together. I really don't believe in coincidences. I really think that this is what we needed at this point in life, and it has been such a beautiful experience that I am actually very happy about it. I want to talk a little bit about maybe the places we were coming from, like the previous friendships, and it's not to talk about that these people...
We never had good friendships ever before we met each other.
Or that these people weren't special, or that they didn't add value to our lives, because they did in their moment. But sometimes you outgrow friendships, or like something happened, something happened, and you just move on, and it's important to keep moving forward. And I think when we met, we're moving forward together, you know, and there is not jealousy, we uplift each other. So it is very important. Like, guys, you cannot believe how important it is to have a good friendship.
Yeah. And what do you think about, you mentioned envy in relationships, in friendships, and that is a big thing. I see a lot of that now on the internet. People, like friends being envious, and friends backstabbing each other, that sort of thing.
Or competing.
And that goes into what I said earlier about we were intentional about our friendship. I asked you, like, hey Anna, do you want to be my friend? Because friendship is not supposed to be taken lightly. I believe that a friend should hold you up in the lowest of lowest moments in your life, and the highest of highs, without feeling jealous, without feeling envious. I believe that the friendship should improve you, and it should improve me. I should learn from you, and you should learn from me.
Definitely. It's transactional, but it's not like, oh, I put 5 and you put 5, or I put 10 and you only put 5. So like we're
trying to balance each other.
So no, like I think when you find a good friend, love is real, and it's so big for each other that those negative feelings, they don't come into these, you know, like we do work to uplift each other and do it together. Literally, we are trying to be better together, and I want to tell you, we usually talk about this. That's maybe sometimes I feel a little bit insecure. And I know, like, we have shared, like, it's not only me. It's on both sides.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel that, oh, am I giving enough in this friendship? You know, like, am I adding enough value in this friendship? Because I am learning from Sabrina. I am learning, and I'm getting inspired by Sabrina. And it's not coming from like, oh, she's doing better than me. No, it's coming like, wow, she has put in the work in this.
Yeah.
I want to be like her.
Wow.
I want to follow.
Takes so much humility to
Yeah.
be able to look at your friend and say, you know what, I'm going to copy her best practices without feeling envious.
Yeah.
I love the humility between us, how we're able to humbly come to each other and say, you know what, Anne, I'm going to take this from you. You're doing this well. I'm going to take this from you. You know, before I met you, I was not going to gym. I'm like, I am skinny. I don't need to go to the gym. But
I love going to the gym, and especially I love doing Zumba, and I invited Sabrina and she enjoyed it. So we definitely, like, you took that and
you told me, like, hey, you can be skinny and unhealthy, you know, like, it's not about, oh, I'm skinny and I don't need to go to the gym. And this is just one aspect of life where I have learned from her, you know, and try to improve my life, and I didn't feel I need to compete with her. And so these are the kind of values I believe that you should look for in a friendship. Love does not envy, you know, love does not hold grudges and stuff like that. So I truly value the kind of friendship we have. And talking about holding grudges, how have we handled conflicts? Because all relationships, they come with conflicts. And I was quite taken aback when you told me you've never fought in a relationship. Not talking about punching each other or screaming and using dirty words, because we don't use that. But we've had conflicts.
Yeah, definitely. I used to not fight before, or maybe I had an avoidance of conflict, I wasn't going to speak up my mind. But with Sabrina, I learned, and she opened up such an environment and such a safe place for me to feel confident about sharing that, hey, we agree to disagree, and it's okay. Like that, in talking about the agreements, but about conflict, like, I think we love each other so much. We have done the work to put aside our ego and put ourselves in the other's shoe, and truly understand where is the other coming from. And if I did something, even if it wasn't with the intention that hurt you, I am humble enough to recognize, like, hey, I really didn't want this to happen, or I didn't do it with intention. I am truly sorry. Let me learn from it. And relationships take work. Even friendships, like every kind of relationship takes work. So we are willing to put into the work to change myself to make this work. Because it takes two to make a relationship work.
I feel like when you don't fight, when you don't put out your grievances you have with each other, that leads to resentment. Did you find that you had a resentment in your heart building up when you would keep things in other relationships?
I wasn't aware of it because it was very subtle, and the way I was disengaging was, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to take it so personal. So it wasn't like I was keeping a grudge, like, or something negative inside, like, oh, I hate her so much, or I hate him so much, but I'm going to continue being their friend. No, it wasn't about that. It was just like, oh, okay, let me just disengage. Not that I didn't care about the other person, but I was just avoiding conflict all at all. And it definitely was creating certain discomfort inside of me, and maybe like I wasn't feeling free to be my true self. And I think we shared that experience, right? Like with previous friendships, that not to say that the other person or our previous friends were bad or that they did something bad to us, not at all, but they weren't offering the safe place that we feel now to be our true self. Sometimes we found ourselves watering
down in
down.
in order to make the other person feel okay,
Or
you
comfortable.
find yourself watering yourself down. And that is why when I prayed, I said, God, I want a confident friend, a friend that is secure in who they are. Because if you take on a friendship where one person is always in the victim mentality, always feeling the world is against them, doesn't love their self, feeling constantly like a victim, that is a load you have to carry all the time. And there is a difference with supporting a friendship, when supporting a friend when the friend is going through hard times. You know, being there, traveling to their homes to support them in sickness, in low moments of life, which will in fact happen. Versus someone who blames the world for everything else, you know, everything that is happening in their lives, and you can't be yourself, because if you are, you're going to offend that friend. I think that is not healthy for me or for the person. And so I wanted a friendship where the person was healed, because a lot of us, we come from homes with traumas, or we were bruised in the world, because the world is not a perfect place. So we do have traumas, and it takes the internal work to say, I'm not going to be the victim. I'm going to put in the work to heal from the things that I've gone through. And I'm not going to project my inner deep dark feelings on someone else and give them that load to carry, to say, hey, you're, you know, and subject another person to be in a box to make me feel comfortable. And I've had that experience. And I think that is why I was not able to positively do conflicts, because I am someone who goes toward conflict. Not like I see conflict, but I believe that we should engage in conflict.
It is healthy.
We need to discuss what is giving me hurt. And oftentimes I've tried to talk about, you know, this is hurting me, and it was met with, why are you always picking up things to fight about? Why are you always seeing these things
with other friends? They were reacting this way. What kind of difference do you feel between that situation and this friendship in how we resolve our conflicts?
So what I feel the difference is that I have a conflict. You did something that hurt me. I come to you in love. I have never been the person to be like loud and boisterous about things. I go to you, hey Anna, I didn't like how
this happened.
I didn't like what you did there. I felt hurt by it. I've always been met with kindness and understanding. And I have even seen moments where you've tried to defend yourself, like, hey,
because it happens. It's human nature.
It's human nature. And then you recognize that, hey, Sabrina is hurt, and you
let me step back. Let me put myself. Let me put myself in her shoes and understand.
And what is the result of that? We become much closer.
Definitely. We come out of the conflict much stronger. We respect each other's feelings so much that we are careful about that and mindful. And something I haven't mentioned, but I love the fact that you ask me, like, hey, do you want to be my friend? It was the first time that this has happened to me. Sabrina taught me how to be intentional about friendships, because in the path I was going through, I was learning to not letting people in, like random people. Because I was approaching friendships from a place, it's like, okay, we're co-workers, we start hanging out, I think like, you're nice, and 2 months later, okay, we're friends, and then 5 months later, okay, maybe we're best friends, but I wasn't actively like investing
deeply in the relationship,
or I wasn't actively like searching for like, hey, I like your values, I like how you are, I want to be your friend. That's something that Sabrina taught me, like, hey, you have to be intentional, because where I was coming from is like, okay, I'm not letting the people that I don't like in. I was pushing people away, but I wasn't looking for like creating a relationship with intention, and that is something that I love that you taught me, and that's why we're here, I think. I don't believe in coincidence. You're making my life better.
Same here. You have made my life you have made my life so much better, and I have enjoyed this friendship because I have felt seen, I have felt loved, valued, and respected, which is so important in a relationship.
Yes.
There is no jealousy between us, which is a beautiful thing. And I love that we can talk to God together. We can be who we are. We don't have to water ourselves down. And when we have conflicts, we come to each when we are hurt by something the other person did, we can come to each other and
communicate
talk in peace. And that is what I've learned. You know, I grew up in a home where I saw people shouting at each other. And I've said this to you before, because I've been in romantic relationships where you try to resolve conflicts and it's met with shouting. And I've said this to you, that I love how we do conflicts. We don't shout at each other. We come out feeling good, like we were heard and seen. And I think that is how it should be. We don't have to shout, and that is what you've taught me. We don't have to shout. We don't have to yell. We don't have to use swear words. We don't have to disrespect each other. We've never done that, and we've had many conflicts.
Oh, not that many.
Not that many.
Some. But it is normal.
But now, you know what has happened? Because now we've gone through the phase of understanding each other's differences. I can be having a conversation with you and I said something or did something and I'm like, oh, I crossed the boundary. And I see it, I'm like, okay, this was a boundary, I crossed it. Or the same happens with me, like the face comes on, Anna knows my face is like, and she knows, like, oh, a boundary was crossed, she did something that might offend me or whatever. And now we know each other so well because we've done the work. And so relationships are hard work.
Oh yeah, definitely hard.
And that's why I'm just ending this friendship because whatever.
Not walking away just because we have a misunderstanding. Right? Like if you truly value a friendship and if it's a friend that it's worth having next to you, then it's worth putting your ego aside. I think that's one of the things that the people struggle the most. Maybe like, hey, like I have my pride, and I don't want to recognize the fact that I was wrong. And it's normal to feel that way, but do you care about that person enough to put your pride aside and say like, hey, let's talk about this and let's move forward. Like, how can we solve this together?
The last thing I want to say is, you know, friendships that I've walked away from because I was not always in this enlightened moment. I wasn't always this person. I have done friends wrong. I'm not here saying, oh, I was a perfect friend all the time. I have done friends wrong before, and I'm free to admit that. But I have found that when I've reflected, the friendships that I've walked away from just easily, maybe I built the friendship on values that I wasn't comfortable with. Sometimes a friendship was built on values that I didn't feel like it fit within my soul very well. I wasn't comfortable with these things, and I continued to prolong the friendship. And then when a conflict happened, I'm like, okay, it was an easy way to walk away. It was an easy walk away from because it wasn't built on the right foundation. And so what I will propose is people that are walking away from friendships so easily, what was the friendship built on? Were you intentional in this friendship? And so that is where I changed my perspective in friendship, and I decided as I got older to be intentional about building the friendships that I have in my life now. And so I feel comfortable fighting for this friendship. I feel comfortable going through the trenches.
And we go together, definitely. And I think something like maybe a lot of people talk about, it's like, oh, don't fight with the person, but like fight together against the problem. I think that's kind of the approach that we have. Like we don't fight against each other, or it's not like, oh, you hurt me, you are bad, or something like that. It's like, hey, you made me feel this way because of this situation, let's change these and move forward. To wrap up this, I want to ask you, if you're approaching a friendship, what are the values or what are the things that someone should look for?
To anyone that is approaching new friendships, I think you should check if the values align. And I think you should check with that person if they want to be your friend.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, because they might not.
Yeah, you need to ask, hey, are we going to be friends, or would you like to approach this friendship with me? Would you like to be my friend? And you need to make sure the friendship is built on shared values.
Yeah.
Make sure that person is your friend, because you can think you're someone's friend, but they aren't yours.
No.
And then when they backstab you or do something out of character, you're like, but I would never do that to you. But that's because you were their friend, but they weren't your friend. So you need to check, are we on the same page?
Yeah. Definitely.
And you need to make sure that there is respect between you two, and you need to be comfortable. You need to make sure that you're comfortable with being yourself with that person. If you find yourself having to water down, having to put yourself in a box to make that person comfortable, I think that you should walk away from that, or not go down that road of friendship. And I think that you should pray about the friendship. Yeah. I do believe that in all things you should pray.
A good friend can push you up and lift you up, or someone that is not good for you can definitely keep you down, and it won't help you move forward. So please be intentional about your friendships.
And because with good friends, you are better together.
We're better together.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and comment for more interesting, deep conversations. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.